So what we're going to take a look at now is just saving our changes into source control. But before we do, it's always a good idea just to go back to our browser and open the Chrome Developer Tools and just make sure that we haven't left anything inside our logs that we might want to clean up. And one of the things we've left inside here is a console.log for our Axios response. And it's normally a good idea just to clean these logs up as we go along, just to keep things as tidy as possible, because we'll do a fair amount of logging out into our console. And we may see other warnings inside here as well, and it's always a good idea as we finish these different sections just to have a little bit of a cleanup, just to make sure we haven't left anything behind. So I'm just going to head back over into my app.tsx file, and I'm just going to remove the console.log, which we don't need anymore, and go back and just make sure that when I refresh, my console is clean. Also, now that we're here, and since we're here, and we actually have some data inside our app component, let's take a look at the React DevTools now inside our component so we can see what's actually going on. And what I can see, and there's still not a great deal to see inside here, but we can see that our app component has two child components, the header and the list, and these are the Semantic UI React components that we've added here. And also inside our app we can see that we have some states inside here, and that's our array of 3 objects, which unfortunately, because these tools are still in development mode, I can't actually see inside the objects, but we know these are our values objects. So let's head back to VS Code, and I'm just going to go into the source control tab. And these are the changes that are taking place. Now, our React application, when we created it, it also comes with its own git ignore file. So it's got a number of things that are already being ignored by Git, and most importantly, it's already ignoring the node modules folder. And this is the one where all our packages get installed into, and this particular folder is huge. It contains literally thousands of files, and it's certainly not something we would want to send up to or save into source control, because we can easily recreate this anytime based on what's inside package.json. If we were to clone this particular project, then all we would need to do is run npm install, and it will go out to the npm repository and download everything that it needs inside this dependencies and store it inside a new node modules folder that it would create. So we wouldn't need to save our node modules folder into source control, and like I say, it's just as well because it's pretty huge. So we don't need to do anything with our git ignore file because React's or Create React's app has already taken care of that for us. And we do want to save all of these changes into source control. So I'm just going to use VS Code to do this, and I'm just going to click this plus button to stage all of the changes, and then I'm going to give it a commit message of end of section 3, and then I'm going to press Command and Enter to commit these particular changes into source control. Then I'm going to use the ellipses up here to push these changes up to the Reactivities repository in GitHub, and this is going to send those changes on up there. So what we'll take a look at next is a summary of what we've covered in this particular section.